Okay, so we're up on the main roof. This is where you have the two leaks that have been coming down through into the main part of the house. What we have here is these are the bolts that are being used to hold the roof in section. You can see it all the way along. But what started to happen with a lot of them is they've all started busting. The rubbers have come adrift completely, so you're starting to get leakage under there. Now, I'm not saying that that is necessarily where it is leaking from, but as you can see, what is going to happen with these before long, a lot of them are going to break. And when they do break, you'll get things like here, where these ones are not even connected to the roof beam. If we have a bad storm and the wind hits here, it's liable to damage the roof, or could be anyway. My suggestion would be that these all need to be taken out completely, re-drilled and replaced, all with new ones, and preferably with the galvanised style ones. In fact, at the end of the roof here, you can see where a repair has been attempted using conventional repair with clouds. Again, here, you can see you're definitely going to get the ingress of water in this one, and you'll also get the ingress of water here as well. The good thing about the roof in general is it's in good condition, and as far as where the leak is, once these have been taken out, these entire panels can be lifted up and you can inspect under the roof easily. So we can then see if the water is coming from sort of an area further back, or confirm that it is coming from some of these holes here. So that's the main roof, where you have two leaks coming down onto the wooden floor. Then over in this area, we have another part of the roof, black concrete section. The black concrete section was painted, again, through age and time and sun and everything else, it started to come away, but we can see where it was painted. I would suggest that because we have some cracks up in the ceiling and the roof here as well, rather than chiseling all of these out or relaying new concrete, because they're not bad, they're not leaking internally at the moment, this is most probably just a skim layer on the roof. So it would be quite alright to leave it for a while yet, i.e. years rather than months or anything like that. But what it does need, the same product that we've used downstairs in the water tank, should be painted onto this roof as well, and that's the Nitoproof 30, which is a bitumen-based paint which will go on. It stays porous for quite a while and will soak inwards, sealing, and then it will then dry black. And obviously each time the sun heats it up, that also helps to make sure that it will adhere well to the concrete area. And then the other thing that I would suggest is where the gutter will go down normally into the drain and feed the water tank. Here you can see the wall has been built up, so the water flows out, which is quite correct. But really what we should do is we should chisel some of this away, and we should actually try and put in a small piece of half-round gutter, which would then encourage the water to flow directly into here rather than flowing around the side, because we're also getting some water coming out of this, where this wood has been rotten. Again, we're about replacing this anyway. The here finished and tidied up, and that will ensure that the water flows in a much more controlled fashion, and will keep things a lot neater, stopping further problems. Generally, the roof is pretty good up here. You do have a slight build-up in this area, but that's nothing major. Again, once this is most clean, we can do quite a lot here. You'll most probably find that we'll encourage, it looks like we're encouraging the water flow anyway. So I would think once it's been cleaned, we should hopefully be able to clear. So that's the main roof area. And then we go to the area that we've looked at. And now I'm going to take you down to the guest cottage. Okay, here we are in the main patio area, on the back of the garden, or the back of the house rather. Another area that's now been highlighted in issue is this retaining wall here. You can see that you have a proper concrete and block and masonry, or stone and masonry wall down here, and then pitch stone on the top. It's great, you know, looks attractive, etc. But the problem we're having is when we get bad rain, or when you get bad rain, up here you'll find that all the water is now running down, runs down, comes into this area, but what it's also doing is bringing down all the dirt and all the sand, etc. with it. So that's all coming into this area, and then this is having to be, ends up having sort of an inch of mud all around the bottom. Alistair cleaned all this away yesterday. I wanted to shoot it yesterday, but I didn't get to it in time. So my suggestion to this, to cure this problem, basically will be to take down all of this stone wall. All the loose stone wall will have to come away completely. This will all have to be dug away, back most probably a couple of feet, can be repiled up on there for now anyway. This stone wall then rebuilt, but using stone and concrete. And what we would then have to do is ensure that the earth at the back of the wall is never allowed to come up to the top. Now, that will mean, yes, Alistair or Garden or whoever is going to have to keep an eye on it, and they're going to have to make sure that it is kept regularly cleaned and cleared. I would also suggest that we most probably put a clay pipe running along here, or a water pipe at least, that will then take it to the end so that we can drop the water down by the step. Because down by the step there is already a feed, or an exit here you can see in the bottom of the step. So it'd be just as well to take a pipe along, so we encourage the water to come down here. We can channel this off around here like that, and then that will allow all the water to drop into there and to flow away. You know, this is a really nice area of the house, and it's a shame that it needs so much constant work. And also, obviously, as you can see, it's causing some problem up here in the bushes, etc., as the earth is being washed away and stones, etc., are being exposed. Eventually, I would fear that maybe some of these trees will even come down, so we may need to be careful with those. Again, still in the main area here, we need a lot of paintwork, needs to be cleaned up. You can see it's all started to come away from the wall, etc. So this again will need to be scraped, repainted, and again anything that needs to be filled would also need to be done. Again here you can see it all around the base of the pipes, etc. Here we've got green, which is basically mould, so it all needs to be pressure washed. A lot of this is also caused by the fact that some of the water is coming down from the roof up in this area because of the gutter, and I know we've agreed that we're going to replace the gutter, but that will eliminate some of this and stop some of the splashback. Also maybe putting a few stones in here would help. That would stop the soil being eroded away or stop it from flowing away. And I would also suggest that we maybe paint the door and get it matching, you know, all the other doors and everything else that is in white up in this area. It appears to be this one here. We've got one over there, and then a small window down at the bottom there as well. But a general good sort of paint and tidy up around here would make a vast difference to the area.